Tom Staniforth, the Wallabies' next big opportunity amid Skelton's injury woes. It may seem odd to pose the question, do you want to play for the Wallabies? To someone who has made his name abroad, but the situation is far from straightforward. During his time with the Brumbies and Waratahs, Staniforth never truly found a foothold in the Wallabies setup. Consistently overlooked, he quietly left Australian shores for France in 2021, signing with Castres Olympique, a club whose identity perfectly aligns with his style: gritty, aggressive, and resilient. At Castres, Staniforth has thrived. The top 14 side is not always tipped as a championship contender, yet they have repeatedly punched above their weight, winning the league in 2018, reaching the final in 2022, and often finishing in the upper echelons of the table. For a player like Staniforth, who epitomizes work ethic and relentless graft, Castres offered the perfect stage. Fast forward to 2026, and after missing a full season due to injury, Staniforth is back, proving his resilience once again. Notably, he qualified for French residency, catching the eye of Fabien Galthy, who called him into the squad that ultimately won the 2026 Six Nations. Despite this call-up, he did not earn a cap, which leaves the door open for Rugby Australia to make a compelling offer before the French system fully integrates him into Les Bleus' plans. This opportunity is underscored by recent events surrounding Will Skelton, one of the Wallabies' most crucial forwards. Skelton, the powerhouse lock who has been central to Australia's pack for years, suffered a serious injury in La Rochelle's top 14 clash against Bayonne. The 33-year-old limped off early in the first half, just his second match back after a 2-month calf injury, and the news is grim: a suspected Achilles tendon rupture. La Rochelle assistant coach Remy Tales confirmed the seriousness of the injury, noting the toll it has taken on the team and expressing hope for a speedy recovery. For Australia, Skelton's absence is a major blow. Last year, the Wallabies' performances noticeably dipped whenever he wasn't on the pitch. While players such as Nick Frost and Jeremy Williams performed admirably in his absence, along with the likes of Lukhan Salakaia-Loto and Tom Hooper, none bring the combination of physicality, work rate, and experience that Skelton does. His presence is pivotal not just in domestic clashes but also against top-tier opposition like the British and Irish Lions. Skelton took to Instagram to share the disappointment himself: season cut short. Thanks for all your messages. Always grateful, see you next year. This announcement cements the Wallabies' need for depth in the lock position, particularly with the British and Irish Lions tours and Test rugby demanding consistent high-level performances, while Australia has options in the local system. Darcy Swain impressed last season and earned recall, while Seru Uru, Angus Blythe, and Matt Phillip offer depth. None are a direct replacement for Skelton's impact. Overseas options are limited, with Miles Amadasiro being perhaps the closest in style, though he is still relatively untested at the highest level. This is where Staniforth's profile becomes compelling. At 31, Staniforth is just 2 years younger than Skelton. While he is slightly shorter and lighter, Skelton carries around 20 kilograms more. The similarities are striking. Both players are not primary line-out jumpers but are industrious, strong in carries, and effective in ruck work. Staniforth has excelled at Castres, recording 21 line-out wins and 3 steals across 15 top 14 appearances this season. He also averages 17 carries per game, frequently making significant yardage, and around 18 tackles per 80 minutes, placing him among the top 15 forwards in the league. In ruck work, he has made 136 entries, underscoring his consistency and endurance. These numbers align with what Galthy looks for in his locks. The French coach has a history of favoring big-bodied tight heads, including players like Paul Williams, Romain Teofenua, Emmanuel Meafo, and Mikael Gillard, several of whom were key contributors during the Six Nations. Staniforth's physical attributes and work rate clearly meet these standards, which explains his call-up to the French squad despite limited experience at international level. Given Galthy's tendency to rotate and rest players during July internationals, Staniforth may eventually earn a French cap. However, the Wallabies have a window to act before this happens. The timing is crucial. If Australia extends the call to Staniforth, they could secure a player who is a near-perfect temporary replacement for Skelton and who could evolve into a longer-term asset in the national setup. Depth in the lock position is a known issue for the Wallabies. The 2025 British and Irish Lions series exposed vulnerabilities whenever Skelton was absent. Schmidt, last year, relied heavily on combinations such as Williams and Frost, sometimes using two backrowers on the bench to compensate. This highlighted the thin margins at international level. One injury can have a domino effect on the pack's performance. Staniforth presents a solution: experienced, battle-hardened, and able to contribute immediately. Rugby Australia's recent policy changes allowing overseas-based players to be selected opened the door for this opportunity. Staniforth has re-signed with Castres through the end of the 2026-27 season, yet the lure of representing his country, returning home, playing Test rugby, and potentially being part of the post-World Cup setup, could make the proposition irresistible. Additionally, the timing aligns with personal milestones, as Staniforth recently celebrated the birth of a child, adding another motivational factor to a potential Wallabies call-up. The scenario is further emphasized by La Rochelle's actions. Following Skelton's injury, the top 14 side reportedly began seeking replacements, targeting Springboks Salman Morat. Australia, in parallel, has a chance to secure Staniforth before France moves to cap him in July, effectively precluding his eligibility for the Wallabies. In terms of playing style, Staniforth brings several advantages. While he is slightly smaller than Skelton, his mobility, consistency in carries, tackling, and ruck presence make him a highly effective player in a modern Test environment. Importantly, he has experience in a European professional setting, meaning he is accustomed to rigorous physical and tactical demands, essential when bridging the gap left by Skelton. Beyond numbers, his mentality and professionalism also stand out. Staniforth has shown resilience, returning from injury and regaining form in a demanding league. His work ethic aligns with what Wallabies coaches value: consistency, reliability, and the ability to make an impact in both set-piece and open-play scenarios. This is crucial for maintaining the integrity of the Australian pack during a transitional phase, particularly as the team looks ahead to the next Rugby Championship and World Cup cycles. If Rugby Australia moves decisively, Staniforth could slot seamlessly into the Wallabies lineup, providing cover for Skelton while offering long-term value in the lock department. The combination of experience, physicality, and current form makes him arguably the best candidate in the current player pool. While local options exist, none offer the same immediate impact and international readiness that Staniforth does. Ultimately, this is a strategic call for Schmidt, Kiss, and Rugby Australia. The Wallabies' depth chart is stretched, and injuries such as Skelton's highlight the need for proactive solutions. Staniforth represents a rare alignment of form, availability, and eligibility. Acting swiftly could secure the Wallabies a player capable of bridging the gap between the outgoing powerhouse and the next generation of locks. With the July internationals approaching, and the risk of Staniforth being capped by France looming, the window is narrow. The next few weeks could determine not only the Wallabies' immediate strength in the pack but also their longer-term strategy in maintaining competitiveness at the highest level. For Staniforth, it is a chance to finally represent the country of his birth, an opportunity that may never present itself again. In short, the question is clear: will Australia act before France does? The Wallabies have a chance to add an experienced, skilled, and battle-ready lock to their ranks, a player who can immediately step into Skelton's boots and contribute at the highest level. The decision could shape the future of the Wallabies forward pack and, given the timing, may well be one of the most crucial selection choices the team makes this year. Tom Staniforth's journey from Canberra to Castres and potentially back to Australia is a story of perseverance, opportunity, and timing. With Skelton sidelined, the Wallabies have a rare chance to secure a player whose credentials, form, and mindset make him ideally suited to fill a critical void. If they hesitate, France might move first, and the door could close on a remarkable opportunity to strengthen one of the Wallabies' most important positions.